I ask start questions myself. Can you tell me about a time you overcame an obstacle and what you did and what was the result? Or, tell me about a time when you had conflict that you had to resolve, or you performed well under pressure, or you made a mistake, or you solved a problem, or you juggled multiple priorities. So it's all those sort of questions, and the ones I've just rattled off are pretty typical that you're going to get. If not one of those, you're going to get probably a few of them. And again, I would advise that there are fairly typical STAR questions that most people will use, most recruiters will use, because I think it's, as we talked about, recruitment process may change as to how it's being done, but the what is still pretty consistent. So those sort of things, it's all in the preparation. So again, doesn't matter how old you are, you've always solved problems. If you haven't had conflict, you've probably had conflict you haven't realised. So you've had some conflict. You've had to juggle multiple things. I mean, my goodness, starting at university, and you've got lots of assignments and exams, because you don't get one exam that you get 3 months notice for that you can just study and you do nothing else. So you're always juggling multiple priorities, and life. In life you do. You've overcome obstacles, so just thinking through some examples that are relevant. So it's really, I can't probably encourage it enough, preparing for an interview, in going in and sort of saying, right, here's my experience. I've gone through my CV or my resume, whatever you want to call it. And I understand each elements of my resume, where my achievements are, where my strengths that I would love an opportunity to talk about. And you have some examples. Think about the questions and how you're going to answer it. Even as students, do it with each other. Take roles in being the interviewer and the interviewee, and do that and give each other feedback. I mean, for some tough roles, I've sat with my husband. He's not a HR leader, but I've sat with him and gone, I'm going to just give you a few answers. What do you think? And he's given me feedback. Because I know early in my career, particularly very early in my career, I've come out of interviews and gone, why didn't I give that as an example? Why didn't I answer it this way? And you know why? Because I didn't prepare. Because in that moment, as I said to you, you've only got a few seconds to answer it. You can buy yourself a few seconds by, delaying and collecting your thoughts, but you've only got a few seconds. And so preparing those sort of answers. And in every interview, you're always going to get questions you weren't expecting. That's life. And you'll just answer it the best you can at the time and you'll learn from it. But preparation is key, and not focusing on, okay, I don't have the relevant experience. You have life experience. So far, you have life experience. So use those instead.